6-176. That was the scoreline when 20-year-old Alexandra Eala dismantled world number 8 Jasmine Paolini inside a roaring Dubai center court packed with Philippine flags. And on that exact same week, while Eala was climbing 19 ranking spots to a career-high number 31, social media exploded with reports of Nike handing the Filipina a deal reportedly worth $75 million. Meanwhile, the current world number 1, who has worn Nike for years, was publicly complaining that her own kits were not going to be special. Like, oh, this is the opportunity. I have to take it. I have to take it. And that's why, I couldn't. And what happened next left the entire tennis world speechless. Before we unpack the business war unfolding behind the scenes, you need to understand exactly who Alexandra Eala is and why the biggest sportswear company on the planet is allegedly betting 9 figures on her future. Alexandra Eala is not just another promising young player. She is the first Filipino to crack the WTA Top 100, the first Filipino to reach a WTA 1000 semifinal, and she did it at Miami in 2025 as a wild card, defeating IGA Swiatek and Madison Keys back-to-back. The first Filipino to win a main draw match at the US Open. The first Filipino to claim a WTA 125 title. Let that sink in for a moment. Every single milestone in Filipino tennis history has her name written on it. At year-end 2024, she was ranked around 143. By December 2025, she had climbed to number 50. And as of February 23, 2026, she sits at a career-high number 31, the biggest ranking jump of the entire week. Most players spend entire careers trying to do what she accomplished in 14 months. She trains at the Rafael Nadal Academy in Mallorca under coach Joan Bosch. She signed with Nike when she was 14 years old. And in 2025 alone, Nike gave her not one but 2 custom heritage drops, a Sampaguita-inspired hair tie for Wimbledon, and a limited edition collaboration shirt with designer Georgina Chuchu. That is not hyperbole. That is fact. Nike has been positioning this 20-year-old as a global face of the brand for years, and then Dubai happened. But here is where this story takes a turn nobody expected. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. While Alex was packing stadiums and climbing rankings, circulating reports and unconfirmed but spreading like wildfire across YouTube and social media claimed Nike was preparing a massive extension worth a reported $75 million for the young Filipina. $75 million for a player with 0 WTA titles, for a player ranked outside the top 30 just weeks ago. And here's where it gets interesting. At the exact same time these rumors were exploding, Aryna Sabalenka, the reigning world number 1, 2-time Australian Open champion, Nike's established flagship athlete, was publicly expressing frustration with her own sponsorship situation. Back in November 2025, she told the press that her upcoming kits were not going to be that special. By the Australian Open 2026, her kit had already been sold to amateur players before the tournament even started, sparking fan backlash across Reddit and tennis forums. The optics could not be worse. The established queen feeling neglected. The rising challenger allegedly getting a 9-figure bag. But it does not stop there. Let us walk through the evidence piece by piece, because when you stack it all together, the picture becomes undeniable. First, Nike has been building toward this moment for 7 years. Eala signed with the brand at 14 years old in 2019. That was not a casual endorsement. That was a long-term investment in a generational talent. By 2025, Nike was giving her custom heritage drops that no other young player was receiving: the Sampaguita hair tie, the limited edition collaboration shirt. Reports from fans claimed her recent shoe drop sold out in under a minute. Whether or not that exact number is verified, the demand is real. Nike does not create custom cultural merchandise for players they see as mid-tier. They do it for players they believe will define eras. And then it got even more intense. Second, Eala's Dubai 2026 run was not just impressive, it was historic. 3 straight wins over top 32 opposition. A dominant 6-1, 7-6 destruction of world number 8 Jasmine Paolini. Her first top 10 victory of the year, a career-high ranking of number 31, making her the biggest mover of the entire week on the WTA rankings list. She is not knocking on the door of the elite anymore. She is kicking it down. But here's the part nobody is talking about. Third, the crowds. Tennis media outlets like Tennis Head have noted that Eala is already pulling bigger audiences than several top 10 players in certain markets. Dubai's center court was standing room only for her matches. Thousands of Philippine flags, overseas Filipino workers who took time off work to watch their countrywomen make history. The Eala effect is not a marketing slogan. It is a measurable phenomenon. Tournament directors are watching, sponsors are watching, and Nike is watching closer than anyone. Think about what that means. A 20-year-old with 0 WTA titles is outdrawing established Grand Slam champions in live attendance and social engagement. That is not luck. That is market power. And if you think that was significant, listen to this. Fourth, the timing of the reported deal is impossible to ignore. The $75 million rumors did not surface randomly. They exploded during the exact week Eala was dismantling top 10 opposition and climbing 19 ranking spots. Coincidence? Brands do not operate on coincidence. They operate on momentum. And Eala's momentum right now is undeniable. That alone would be enough. But what happened next made it undeniable. After her Paolini victory, Alex Eala stood on center court, looked into the cameras, and asked the crowd a single question. How many of you have prayed for me? Her voice cracked. The flags waved. Thousands of Filipinos roared back. That moment, that raw, humble, grateful moment is exactly why Nike reportedly sees her as the future. She is not just talented, she is beloved. She carries 110 million Filipinos and millions more in the diaspora every single time she steps on court. The fans who have supported her for years are being proven right by events. Their belief was never misplaced. Tennis media has noticed what is happening. Tennis Head and Tennis.com have both highlighted that Eala is already a bigger draw than Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka in key markets. That is not speculation. That is documented crowd data and engagement metrics from multiple tournaments. And then there is Sabalenka herself. When someone who has won 2 Australian Opens publicly says her Nike kits are not going to be special, when her tournament apparel is being sold to amateurs before she even plays, that is not a minor complaint. That is a signal. That is a star feeling the ground shift beneath her feet. Nobody is saying Sabalenka is not still the world #1. Nobody is saying Nike is abandoning her. But when you see a brand pouring custom heritage drops and reported 9-figure extensions into a 20-year-old while the established champion voices frustration, the message is clear. The future is being prioritized, and the future has a name. But this story is bigger than Alex Eala. What we are witnessing is a tectonic shift in how tennis sponsorship money flows. For decades, the sport has been dominated by European and American market priorities, but Asia represents 4.7 billion people. The Philippines alone has over 110 million. The Filipino diaspora stretches across the Middle East, North America, Europe, everywhere tennis is played. There are Filipinos watching. Nike sees what the WTA is only beginning to understand. The next global superstar does not have to come from Florida or Moscow. She can come from Manila. Indian Wells is next. Eala will likely be seeded. Then comes the clay season with Rome, Madrid, Roland Garros, then Wimbledon, then the US Open. Every single tournament is another chapter in this story. Top 20 by end of 2026. That is not a dream anymore. That is a trajectory. Let us be clear. Alex Eala is not invincible. Her Dubai quarterfinal against Coco Gauff ended 0-6, 2-6. It was not close. It was a reminder that there is still a gap between where she is and where the absolute elite live. After the match, she acknowledged it directly. Obviously, I think there is still a gap to the very top, but I am really proud of the week. No excuses, no deflection, just honesty and pride. That mental toughness, that ability to absorb a heavy loss and still walk away with her head high separates champions from everyone else. She did not dwell. She packed her bags, collected her ranking points, and prepared for the next battle. A 14-year-old Nike signee, A 7-year investment, custom heritage drops, a career-high number 31 ranking, standing room-only crowds packed with Philippine flags, a reported $75 million extension circulating at the exact moment she dismantled a top 10 opponent. And on the other side, a world number 1 publicly unhappy with her own kits. Alexandra Eala did not just have a breakthrough week in Dubai. She forced the biggest brands in tennis to show their hand, and the message could not be clearer. The girl from the Philippines is not waiting for permission anymore. She is taking what she has earned. Is Nike right to go all in on Eala? Or will Sabalenka remind everyone who the real number 1 is at Indian Wells? Drop your answer in the comments. Subscribe so you do not miss what comes next. Share this with every tennis fan you know. Hit the notification bell, and we will see you in the next one.